Work in the back, Joe.
All right, we are live with this week's SKTLs Volunteer Conference Call. Along with Mr. Cody Willard over there, we got Joe Sanazzi and expecting others in the room. What's going on, gentlemen?
You know, space revolution. Can't
It's
stop
infinite.
it. Is it though? I don't think it is.
You can reach the end if you.
There's an end. There's an end to it. The universe is not infinite.
I'm not sure about that.
Dan Geraci's space knowledge is infinite. The universe itself, not infinite.
Dan has forgotten more about space than I will ever know. So
that's true of everybody sitting here. Yesterday I was on a call with Dan and he had a SpaceX shirt on, which I meant to ask Dan, where'd you get that SpaceX shirt?
Oh, you can get them anywhere. I got it. We did a Planetary Society board meeting at the SpaceX factory back after Elon had just left the board. So he let us use his boardroom and tour the factory way back. And so that was I went to his place and all I got was a t-shirt thing. So. And a hat.
And chairmanship of the board, but I guess, yeah.
Yeah. No, this was after. Yeah. This was after.
All right, fine. So
there's a company out there that does really cool t-shirts. They've got James Webb telescope shirts and lots of really, really nice stuff out there. Space is becoming a fashion trend, I have a feeling.
I mean, the popularity of NASA t-shirts and sweatshirts in the last 5 to 10 years is just ridiculous. You go anywhere in the world and you'll see young people walking up and down the street with NASA shirts on.
NASA shirts?
NASA shirts, yeah. And it's many people would say it's probably the USA's greatest brand is NASA, and it's pretty cool to see. But I looked at this actually the other day. SpaceX has a massive online store.
Oh, I've been on eBay and searched for SpaceX shirts, and then I always forget. I don't know. I probably have 8 of them in my app.
Just go to the website. Just go to the website.
Yeah, maybe go to the website. I have a Tesla shirt or two. Where's my Tesla hat?
Yeah. It's for all the converted. They can buy swag and wear it around.
Let's jump in and talk space and not fashion. First off, if you have not yet been to, if you're watching this and you love space, you got to go to SKTLs.com, SKTLS.com. See, can I share my screen on this program? Present.
Yep, just go to present.
Share screen. Don't show these tips again. Share screen. Yes, and share. All right. Can you see it?
I should be able to see it when it'll show up at the bottom as like a guest, but it doesn't look like you're showing it just yet.
No.
Yeah. It's lost permission to capture your screen. To fix it, go to system preferences. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've already told it to give it permission. All right. Well, anyway, Cabana, can you go to SKTLs.com, SKTLS.com? We do officially have if you're a university, if you're a kid, a student, if you're a company who thinks you guys can help solve the space debris problem, you can now go to SKTLS.com, click on, I don't know how to get you to the page that I want you at. Type in this, I'll put it in the chat. Chat. There, will you click on that link, Cabana?
Yep.
You can go apply for go apply, and there's no strings attached. You can sell the token after you get it. You would want to keep the token because this is a token dedicated to cleaning up space debris. But if you're a college kid and you all of a sudden got $40,000 to start working on your space debris solution, go sell a little bit of the SKTL token and fund your idea. That's the whole point of this. And so
I've added that link to the YouTube chat as well, and I'll put that in the video description.
Thank you.
Yep.
Dan, you were going to talk to
Yes,
potential
I
collaborators
can
on all of this.
and give a little update on that. So last week, I did have a call with Sarah Alvarado, who's the executive director of SEDS, which is Students for the Exploration and Development of Space. They have chapters in, I believe, 39 states, give or take, university level chapters. These are all students who are focused on space as a career. A large number of them are engineers, but not all. A lot of them are focused on areas of an ancillary nature to space. I personally have met with students who are building creative agencies focused on space, advertising, communications, marketing, etc. So, but anybody who's focused on space, they can, they join. Can be other areas of STEM. You'll see biochemists, things like that, the whole area of agricultural technology for being able to grow plants in space. So it's a pretty big umbrella. And anyway, we talked, and it's an entirely volunteer organization. It's SEDS, SEDS.org. And if you go there, you'll notice their board of directors is all students. Sarah just graduated last year, and she's done an incredible job of running the organization as the executive director. It's so they don't have a permanent staff, but they get a lot done. I raised the issue of them potentially wanting to be a part of this awarding of tokens to, winning or selected groups or individuals who come up with debris solutions. She really liked the idea. We talked about the crypto component of it. We talked about how they would get exposure, how we would probably want to do something like pitch days to expose the companies that had submitted ideas in addition to those who actually won. And I got some interesting feedback. She said, and she admitted it's as much out of ignorance of the topic as it is anything else. She said, well, I don't know how many would be interested in the crypto itself. And I said, well, this is like, we're talking about some serious, potential value here. And, money's everything to a startup. And she admitted that. And I said, so, maybe it's, and I used the $40,000 number. And she said, oh, okay, that could be attractive. She said, the thing that will be really attractive will be visibility. And I sat back. I said, oh, that's interesting. She goes, oh, yeah, no, being featured, being on the site, on the SKTL site, being promoted out there, introducing the teams to other relationships, such as, with Air Force Research Lab, with Space Force, with other areas. That, she said, would be of the greatest value to the applicants. And we talked about the fact that what we're thinking is we would need the next year to build this properly, to get a full rollout going, especially given that it's volunteers all the way around. And she was fine with that. What she said was, well, gee, it would be interesting to know what level of effort is going to be required of the students, which I found interesting because, what she's basically asking is, how much of their time do they have to spend on this in order to be competitive at the right level to be considered? In other words, can they develop the strategy and everything short of building something? Do they have to build something?
No,
do they, right.
they do not.
That's what she was asking. I was
Yeah.
telling her, I said, no, this isn't, spend a semester and, do that. I said, we're looking more at the conceptual end that could be then taken to development subsequent to the program, to where you get someone's interest to say that's worth pursuing. And then the other big thing, which will be, it'll be a challenge, and we're going to need help with this, but the grading rubric, how are these going to be judged? What are the criteria? What is going to be the, the measuring stick by which we compare one to the other, and whether or not any one of them is good? What standards do they need to meet? What does it have to do? How many, how much of the grade, if you will, is based on the concept versus the viability of the technology versus the ability for it to get funded? Whatever we come up with as the contributing components to the final grade or decision on who wins.
Well, and the fact is that it's the community itself that will decide any and all of this, and there's no preset criteria. If a student has an incredible idea that needs a little bit of funding, we're there for it. If it's a if it's a startup company, we would hope they would actually be having something, practical being built or something.
That's the thing. I mean, at the end of the day,
Dan, I think you agree that's part of what you're getting at is initially here, we're doing this sort of off the cuff this May. We've got 3 months.
Yeah, this one is a separate issue. The current one is a separate issue. This one, it's like anything else. What do I have to do in order to win? And it can't be subjective in large part, because no student's going to do that. It's like, how do I get an A in this course? What do I have? You have to do the following in your lab this semester. You have to build something, make it do this and make it do that, and then I know I'm going to qualify. So we can't just say it's people are going to decide. We have to say, all right, well, we're going to get a bunch of companies in the community to evaluate it, and other experts to evaluate it. And here's what they are going to look for. Here's the evaluation criteria. That's what they need. That no student's going to take it on unless they have a map to what do I need to do in order to complete it. They're not going to do all this work and find out they didn't do the right things or it didn't check any boxes with anybody. So that's going to be the part we're going to have to figure out. And that means finding the right players who would be willing to say, here's my suggestion for the criteria I would select. And maybe it's contacts at AFRL, maybe it's contacts at Space Force, maybe it's contacts in the industry who can say, listen, I'm building this technology. Here are the things it has to be able to do, at least at a concept stage. So I think at the end of the day, that's what we need to do. This first round for May is going to be, let's identify some of the obvious, obviously successful players who are pursuing this that are already out there and recognized, and hold them up as a good example.
How cool would it be in year 2 and 3 or 4 that this has become a little bit well known, and 3 or 4 of these universities that are in the engineering space create a semester class dealing with this type of work, and part of that class is that all the work that they do during that semester on what we're talking about gets submitted as part of their overall grade. I mean, this could be a really cool class that you're trying to develop.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting.
A lot of these schools do this now, where they have projects that they have to complete during a school year or a semester. It's not a lot different than, business schools, where your whole program is based on building a business plan for a startup and then going through it. And then there are actually investment funds that buy all of the business school startups at Harvard or at Princeton or at MIT. They literally invest in every single company that gets started up coming out of those programs. And these things for the technology side, it's the same thing. It's, you know, does that engineering school want to take on the debris issue? And do they want to get a bunch of students to focus on something like that? A lot of these schools are known for certain capabilities. They're, you know, Purdue is really well known for, you know, aerospace engineering, and you know, Texas A&M for propulsion issues, and you know, you get these specialties. So I think you're right. I think there's legs to this, Joe, going forward, where it could be more of a concerted effort to try to solve something, even for one school. But you know, our issue is going to be limited by our focus on debris as the only thing that they can pursue with us. So I think in ensuing years, we could probably, you know, this whole area is going to broaden by definition. It's going to expand into a few other areas anyway. So, you know, just as Orbital Prime deals with robotics and propulsion and navigation and guidance and all the things you need to deal with debris. You know, recycling on the back end, manufacturing is a back end business. So,
Dan, can I suggest something? Would it be actually a good idea to ask Sarah to help come up with criteria?
Oh, I think they'd be willing to. I think she could help. I think that, you know, because what I said to her was, listen, this isn't going to be something that's dictated to you or to the students. We want to make this a collaborative effort, being sensitive to the fact that, you know, being told what they have to do beyond, you know, criteria. She liked the idea of being involved and then being able to collaborate. Time is going to be the only challenge for them, is how much time. And so we would just have to get better organized and say, okay, let's have a call. Sarah, you figure out that you have to be on there. Let's get some other people that can give us some insight and have a discussion about it. But I think students are, you know, it'll be only a handful that are going to want to deal with this at the level of, you know, what should the criteria be, as opposed to, I just want to focus on what the heck I'm going to come up with. I think they would rather have it laid out for them than to build their own grading system, even though some students would love to do that. But
you said Sarah just graduated last summer, right? So in that sense, she would be an ideal candidate, actually.
Oh, sure.
When you think about it. So this is for this year. You know, we would be better organized for next year.
Yeah.
So whatever suggestion from students' perspective, you know, that she can give us, I think that would be really valuable. She should probably be, you know, on the committee or with us in terms of like which student project to choose. Like 1 out of 5, we said, I think it was going to be a student project potentially, right?
Mm.
So on the industry side, could we, I guess I'm asking all of you to think about, you know, the people we had on our weekly meetings. Alexis Lunar was one, and Air Force, like we had multiple people, right? Multiple people.
Gary would be good. Gary would be good with this, and his partner Joe is Sis Lunar, who is the actual engineer. He's the scientist. He would be helpful.
It wouldn't take them. I don't think it would take them really to come up with at least a tentative, you know, criteria.
Yeah, the ones that I think are probably going to be most helpful is the three co-founders of Cal Morris, who are building specific debris removal craft, as opposed to a process that's downstream debris, what this Lunar's doing. And then there's a couple of others that we could task, and I could even go to them and just say, hey, drop me a note. Here's what we're doing. Is there some criteria that you think would be helpful in judging an idea? And we could do the same with a couple of the people we met in Albuquerque, Cody, that you were introduced to.
And
who could
ask
just
them
offer.
to, I'm sorry, and ask them to participate, at the same time.
Yeah,
Make sure
I think
that
that'll
they
be me.
participate.
That's a related ask, and I think that might be I think we might get some pretty positive response to that. It's just hey, what's the time commitment and can my calendar handle it? But that's about all it will be. That's all it will be. And I know from a couple of schools that we could get some more active support and leadership as well. Hopefully here in the next month to 2 months, I'll be heading out to Arizona State for a series of meetings on a number of business topics, but I'll make sure this is part of the conversation for that. As I mentioned, I've already spoken to them and they're very interested in hearing about it because it's they have a great active SEDS chapter there anyway. So,
and just to repeat to everybody watching, look, it is a space debris cleaning cryptocurrency. That is the whole gist of this. There were no founders tokens. All of the people on this call are volunteers. They didn't get any tokens for being here. And, I personally have gone out and bought these tokens on the Pancake Swap exchange using MetaMask, and you guys can do that too. You can, if you're interested in the space debris cleanup concept, the whole impetus behind SKTLs was there is no economic incentive for anyone to clean up space debris. And it's a tragedy of the commons. And this is a solution that is going to be funding that tragedy and funding solutions to that tragedy, I guess I should say. One other thing I should mention, if you go to SKTLs.com, there is gear. Hey, you want to go over there and show them the swag real quick? If you're watching, you want to go, I have a hat or two. I don't know where my SKTLs hat are. I've got a SpaceX. I got a Tesla hat. And I've got SKTLs hats. I need to do that. So go over there on, swag. You can get T-shirts and hats, backpacks, playing cards, of course, a basketball hoop. I need a basketball hoop right there. I'm ordering that today. Socks, SKTL socks. Might have to order those for my wife. She would think that's funny. Should have done that for Valentine's Day. Boy, that would be the worst Valentine's gift ever. Here, honey, here's my crypto logo on some socks. Happy Valentine's Day.
Late at that. Yeah.
Did not do it. I didn't think of that early enough. Good.
Hey, socks are a pretty big giveaway at space conventions.
So there you go. I guess
they give out swag. Somebody has little tchotchkes. I've seen probably a half dozen companies giving out socks. So.
That's great. So yeah, you click on one of those. Will you click on the basketball goal or the socks?
It's probably going to open a new window, so I got to hold on.
Oh, well then don't do it. But look, you click on that and it'll open. You go to the store and literally buy it right there. It'll be shipped, drop shipped.
Built that stuff. There you go.
Yeah, always fun to play cards. So I actually do have. Oh, I have playing cards for my ranch. We used to call it Battery Ranch because Tesla paid for it. All right, folks. Questions, comments, anybody? Look, you know,
just one more thing.
Skitles continues
Cody,
to grow community. The people on Twitter have been much more active lately. Come follow us on Twitter if you haven't already. We're on Discord and Telegram and Instagram and Petagram and Guitargram and
Skitles Crypto, SKTLs Crypto on Twitter.
SKTLs Crypto. Sonatsu, you had a comment?
Yeah, the monthly rewards have been minted a few days ago, and I just checked actually just before the meeting started. 10, I believe, Skittle token holders already claimed their tokens.
I'm going to do it right now for everybody. Like, you guys watch this, okay? I'm on my phone. I go to MetaMask. It's going to need to see my face.
Yeah, it's not that visible, Cody. It's really
you can't
a white
see
blur.
it? I know, but that's because it's a white screen right now. Hold on, Sonatsu. It was a white screen.
Okay, now, okay, better.
Yeah, man.
Better.
Okay, so you see there in this account, I've got like 30,000. Wait, where's my Skitles? Oh, you know what? I haven't imported. I got a new phone. Got a new phone.
Shame on you.
All I got is my B&B and stuff. So then I guess I'm not going to go pull it up real quick. We'll have to do that.
Well, yeah.
Next time. But it is very easy if you actually have it in there. But that was awfully anticlimactic on my part. Shouldn't have pretended I was going to do it without actually having tested it.
Yes.
Fox would fire me for that right now. If I was on there.
That's right.
Like, you know, I'll give you this story. One time on Fox, I broke my thumb. One of my many broken bones was breaking my thumb on Fox because I was going to show. It was 2008, and we'd just gone through the financial crisis, and I was getting bullish. And I was like, "Look, you can go buy anything on a phone, in the phone, the makers of the phone, or any of the components of the phone." I took a hammer, and I was going to smash a phone on air, but I hit my thumb. That sucked.
How was your poker face?
My poker face was all right. I was like this. Back to you, Rebecca. And we came back from commercial break, and Rebecca's like, Cody broke his thumb. He'll be back on the next segment. So, yeah. But, yeah, I pokered it out a little bit, Cabana.
All right, good.
It was not my first broken bone, so I handled it. And for the record, having a heart attack, so much worse than any broken bone. Oh, my God. The pain in my chest. I thought I was having... Like, I thought I had COVID or something because it was like my whole chest was just on fire. And I haven't had COVID that I know of. And so anyway, turned out 30 hours later, I went to the ER and they were like, dude, you're having a heart attack, you moron. And I was like, crap. So just saying, the thumb, it was easy to fake a thumb, to fake a poker face when I had broken my thumb. There was no poker facing the heart attack. Peace, love, and happiness. I'm all good, and I appreciate some of these people here and or Skitles community has reached out to me with prayers and good vibes, and I appreciate them all. Thank you, guys. I'm fine. Onward, upward.
Thank you, and see you guys next week then.
Let's see you guys same time, same channel next week. Thanks, Dan.
Be well.